Welcome back to Cigar Exploration USA. Today I've got a cigar so good it requires two bourbons. So we've got this Perdomo. This is their 30th anniversary. And this is a Epicure Maduro. So you can see here it's still in the cellophane. I'm gonna get it unwrapped in just a second, get it cut and lit. Paired it with these two Penelopes today. Haven't tried neither one of them. Been a little disappointed in Penelope, to be honest with you. The only thing of theirs I really have liked so far is they're toasted. It's okay. 65 bucks where I live for it, so the price isn't real great. Oh wow, this thing smells absolutely fantastic. It smells like cocoa, leather, chewing tobacco. This thing's gonna be great. I've smoked so many Maduros from Perdomo now, even though I've never had this 30th anniversary. I just know it's gonna be fantastic. Let's get a V-cut on it. What are you guys drinking? What are you guys smoking? Give me a comment. Let me know what's going on with you. All right. So another shallow V-cut. I think this might be my lighter here. This thing gives me some trouble sometimes. Let's try this again. Let's get in here a little bit better. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just took another extra little nip out of it there, so there's the cut. Cold draw, just a great draw, wide open. Again with that leather, chewing tobacco, cocoa, spice. All right, let's get it lit. Toast it up first. It is hot today. I'm trying to sit out of the sun, but I am part way in the sun just because of the way I like to shoot the video. So I'll survive. Just gonna get a little sweaty here. Yeah, like so this Penelope, these two, it's the barrel strength is the red one and the architect is the blue one. It came in a gift set with the third one being just their regular 80 proof offering, and I just smashed that bottle on the curb when I got outside of the store. I'm kidding, I drank it, but it's just nothing to write home about. It's like, you know, I'd rather have Jack Daniel's Black Label. Barky and toasty. Just, this is box pressed. You're just looking at just a beautiful stick here. This is about a $12 cigar. If I recall correctly, I've had this thing for quite some time. It's only the second 30th anniversary I've smoked, and it's the first Maduro. Wow. Yeah, just great quality. Wow. Espresso, sweetness. Again with the cocoa, like a light chocolate, cocoa powder, milk chocolate kind of a deal going on. You get what you want on the retro, just spice and cocoa. I mentioned leather in the beginning, but that's kind of gone away a little bit on the light up. You know, things are going to change, but so far. Yeah, just the quality on these cigars is pretty much unmatched. All right, let's go with this barrel strength and get that in a glass. These just have those generic kind of plastic corks on them. Take a look at this barrel. This bottle. I wish it was a barrel. That would be sweet. I'm not going to show you the backs of these. If you guys want to know about them, you just look them up. I was told by a guy that I trust pretty intently or pretty highly with whiskey that this Penelope Architect is pretty good. This is the one that has the French oak staves in it. I do like the Maker's Mark French oak staves. They're 46, Maker's Mark 46. It has those in them. It's pretty good. So I'm just disappointed. This is 104 proof and this is 114 proof. I just don't think that Penelope is very good. I think it's along the line of the Basil Hayden and just kind of a, you know, whatever kind of offering. I did get this in a gift pack, like I said, three bottles. Drank the plain one. Didn't really care for it. Proof was too low. So the only two basically left, other than their cigar blend, which I can't find anywhere to try, are these two, because the toasted is decent. It's just for the price tag, I just don't think it's worth 65 bucks. What I knew would be worth it today is this cigar, though. Just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, pick one of these up if you haven't tried them. Highly recommend these 30ths. I think the 10s are still my favorite, but look at that cigar band on there. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. All right, so what do you guys think? The barrel strength, it says corn, rye, wheat, malted barley. Wheat, okay, corn, rye, wheat, malted barley. Having some trouble speaking today without a single drop of alcohol on the All right, so you can smell the proof. It's got the proof, the 114. And then this one says, you know, just aged 4 years. I'm gonna do the Architect first. See if I can get that French oak staves in it. Okay. You're definitely getting them. You're definitely getting, you know, you can tell it's a finished bourbon, finished whiskey. It's not impressive so far on one sip, but you can tell. I mean, it's just thin. It just tastes thin. Certainly is nothing like a Maker's Mark 46. I'm just going right for this one, just to do the comparison back to back before I get the cigar too involved. This one smells better. This one's good on the nose. It's got a lot of butterscotch and caramel. This one's better. The barrel proof one is definitely better. I think your dog might want to go in. You might want to let him in back there. Yeah, wow, that might work like magic. Nope, he's back. This one, maybe if you can grab this one, this barrel strength, it's a blend of all these whiskeys. So the reason I fell for it again with this Penelope is, I keep talking about this gift pack. It was a red, white, and blue gift pack. So the bottle of regular is white. And these are half bottles, half fifth. So 375s. But it was only 60 bucks for the 3 bottles. So you're getting a bottle and a half of Penelope for 60 bucks, you know, when you add the 3 together. And I wanted to try these two, but didn't want to buy them separately. I think this one's about 50 and this one's about 60 separately. So now I get to try them for the same price as, you know, are pretty, 60 bucks is a pretty decent price for a bottle. You know, when you can, again, with the comparisons, when you can go back to Wild Turkey 101 for 25 bucks, you know, when you're paying more than double, the bottle better be damn good, in my opinion. Got a friend. I'll always have a friend out here. This cigar is so good. It's unbelievable. I mean, it should by now be believable to me, but it's just so good. When I haven't smoked anything maybe on this level in a couple of weeks or so. I haven't smoked Perdomo recently. Yeah, this is one of those cigars that I'll just be sad when it's gone, for sure. All right, so this says pushes the boundaries, distilled in Indiana and Kentucky. This batch was blended from 3 bourbon mash bills, which I read to you on the front. Oh, one of them cicada killers is here. Those things are cool. They're not scary looking at all. They're the biggest. Oh, are you gonna come on camera? No, did you? You might have flew on camera there. Biggest wasp in the United States. I literally have a whole colony of them out here. They're just laying all their eggs in the fire pit over here. It's pretty cool. They keep coming back every year. Non-chill filtered, aged minimum 4 years, American New Oak barrels, which we know because it has to be. This is bourbon, right? Yeah, bourbon whiskeys. Blend of bourbon whiskeys. I guess that's still considered bourbon. Straight bourbon whiskey finished in oak staves. Yeah, this is weak. I can't believe that guy. A guy I really trust, has way better taste in bourbon than me. Kind of recommended that. He didn't say go buy it. He said if you're looking for something, that Architect's pretty good. And I was like, okay. Not gonna say any names here. Maybe the president of a whiskey society that I know about, though. Listen, it's not garbage in a glass. It's just, I'm comparing it to. I compare everything to everything. I think that's human nature. We compare everything to everything. Compare the last boyfriend, girlfriend you had, or car you had, or whatever, meal. So I'm just going to compare this to Maker's 46. It's impossible not to. They're essentially a very similar product on paper. In the glass, though, not so much. It's going to be hard to explain this, but so Maker's, it's going to storm here. Maker's isn't artificial tasting, even though it's made, as far as I know, the same way as this, while this is artificial tasting. You just get a flavor in there that you're just not, it's just off-putting. Not a chemical flavor, like I guess just a fake wood kind of a flavor. Where with that Maker's, you don't get it. Sorry, Penelope. I can't do it. So distilled in Indiana on that one. Distilled in Indiana and Kentucky on this one, on the barrel strength, because that's a blend of 3 of them. No, it's a blend of 4 of them. Corn, rye, wheat, and malted barley. And that one's just says regular Penelope with oak staves. Definitely the barrel strength for me. If you made it 12.5 minutes into this video, get yourself a 30th anniversary Perdomo and go with the Penelope barrel strength. Skip the Architect. Unless you've had it and it's your cup of tea, I don't know how it could be. It's more money than the Maker's 46. I think it's at least $10 more. If you want a good French oaked bourbon at a reasonable cost, I mean, the only one I've ever really had that I really enjoy, the Maker's 46. I'm gonna stop talking about it now. I'm gonna ash this cigar. This ash is not that tight, actually. You can see it's kind of busted up a little bit. It's fine. Before it falls in my lap, I'm just gonna put it in the ashtray here. Just ordered a lot more cigars through the mail. Just figured it was just easier that way. You get some good deals on these websites. I've talked about this a million times. Cigar Page, Cigars International, but Cigar Page lately, that one, I've been killing it on there. I think I got like 50 cigars that are coming in the mail, and not all the same one either, and not cheap ones, a lot of different things. And I think I got those cigars for like $4 or $5 a piece. They weren't all the same price, but then when you put them all together and you throw in a coupon code or a discount code, you get a bunch of cigars for a pretty good price when you order them online. And knock on wood, some wood over here. Knock on wood, I haven't had any problems with cigars in the mail. Nothing came, soggy, wet, stale, open, broken, nothing like that. Everything's been really nice through the mail. I just realized Penelope, Perdomo, I do that stuff all the time by accident. I didn't even realize we have the 3 Ps out here. Yeah, I'm trying not to waste a lot of time, waste a lot of my viewers' time. I mean, I know my videos are long, like this video is long, gonna be long. You can fast forward my videos though, it's no problem. I don't mind if you do that whatsoever. You know, watch it how you want, drink what you want, smoke what you want. But I could have made this into 2 videos, and I was like, that's just so silly, there's no point, you know. Plus they're half bottles, so together they're a full bottle, like my usual style. All right, this barrel strength on the nose. I'm sorry that I took a crap on this one, but this is not great. This one though, this one's got something going on, which gives me a little bit of a shred of hope, a slither of hope for the cigar blend, that the cigar blend, because it's a blend like this, is gonna be like this, even better hopefully. This has got a great caramel, butterscotchy, sugary nose on it, and you can even smell a little wood on the nose. It's smooth too. For that proof, that's darn smooth. That's 114. Yeah, I recommend this one, the barrel strength. I think the barrel strength is more expensive than the Architect though, which is better, I mean, to me anyway. I certainly would pay more for that. Like if I would spend an extra 10 on this one before, if this one's 50, this one's 60, definitely would buy that one. But now that I've had, ooh, orange peel. Ooh, that was nice. Wow. All right, cigar's gonna go out. A lot of orange peel though. That was nice. That was a nice little surprise. Nice little surprise there on that orange peel. This thing is just espresso beans. It's just so good. I was gonna order a bunch of these Perdomos when I was ordering my other order that I was telling you about, but they're just a lot. They never are on sale, and so that's why on this channel, even though this is my favorite cigar company, you won't see me smoke a lot of them. It's just not a daily smoker for me. That thing, I'm disappointed that I'm I'm still in the first third, I'm good. Yeah, this stuff's got it going on. What's crazy though is I doubt I'll buy this again. If I see it got a really good sale, I'd probably pick one up. If it's got to be really on sale. If I can get this thing for like 40 bucks, because to me, it's really a $40 bottle. You know, you're up around the Maker's Mark cast strength. I said I wouldn't talk about the other one. I didn't say I wouldn't talk about the cast strength one. So the Maker's Mark cast strength, 45 bucks. And it's better, way better than this. This ain't a $60 value. But I'm trying to judge it on 2 criteria. It's value dollar-wise, which I think is fair to say most of us care about. And then it's value for drinkability and the quality, what you get from it. Is it pleasurable? Does it surprise you? Is it good? And yes, it is. It's just the value is not there. Certainly the value isn't here on this for 50 bucks. Hopefully it gets better. I like when I eat my words. I like when at first I open, you know, because the neck pour is always the worst, according to everybody, you know. I like when I eat my words. I like when later on I come back and I find that something's better than I thought it was. That's a gift you can give yourself. Yeah, it's got this weird. It's the finished wood. It's the staves they use. The other company is just using different staves that are better, or my palate likes them better, you know, however you want to think about it. I've been seeing people smoke a lot of Perdomos online. A lot of these smaller channels like mine, guys are smoking them. They are great. I mean, smoke them on and off camera. I mean, if you can swallow the 12 bucks, you know, maybe you can get them a little cheaper than that where you're at. I know some places they're 30 bucks or 40 bucks a piece, so certainly not complaining about the price of this cigar, just saying that it's just not an everyday smoker for me. I like $4 or $5 cigars, you know. Anything under 10, I think, is a good daily. If you're gonna smoke one that day, there's days I smoke, I've talked about this a million times, there's days I smoke 3, there's days I smoke none. Very rarely am I smoking none, but every once in a while I miss a day. I'm busy or just don't feel like it. Spring and fall is tough to not feel like it. You know, summer, sometimes it's storming or it's hot as hell or the bugs. In the winter, it's obviously freezing, so it's dark in the winter for some reason. The winter's always dark. Maybe that's just a perception, but it just seems like winter is always a dark time of year. Probably not though, because the way the Earth's turned, there's less sun in the Northeast where I'm at in the winter, so I guess that makes sense. But anyway, so if you're gonna smoke, you know, leave me a comment if you smoke 3 Perdomos a day. I'd like to hang out with you sometime, smoke some of your cigars. That sounds good. Yeah, this thing, the ash isn't perfect. A lot of these Perdomos, you'll see just the ash is just tight, just perfect. This one's a little, you know, nothing's wrong with it. Nothing wrong, just a little, you know, not burning perfectly even. It's not a perfect ash, but never had one I was disappointed in. Just a lot 23, one of his lot 23s I had that was kind of ballooning a little bit and it was just sort of cracking. It was like, maybe it rolled a little tight, even though it passed the draw test. I don't know. There's a channel, I mean a video on my channel about it. It was a lot 23, just type it in and put lot 23. You'll find it. I think I only made two videos on lot 23s. I feel like it was a sun-grown lot 23. That was like pregnant a little bit. How was my pour? Poured a little heavier on this one. See that? My brain knew to give me more of the better one. Not an exact even pouring there. Not exactly even. See if we can get it even. Let's get a little bit more architect out of here. Can't be much, right? Can't be much. Can't be much to make it even. Let's check my work. Oh, now this one's a little higher. I'll be here all day until these two glasses are just topped off until I get these exactly even. That's a little better though. That's a little better. Let's move this lighter out of the way. Shouldn't need you the rest of the video. Pretty bottles though. Just looking behind me how well they go with the American flag. That was also not intentional per se. Just sort of works out that way sometimes. And how are we doing on these guys? Almost perfectly even on them as well. I do this when I'm not on camera. I'll drink 2 whiskeys at the same time. I don't know why anybody wouldn't do that. If you're gonna have more than one, drink 2 together. Then you'll, you know, discover lots of different things. I had a feeling the barrel strength was going to be better. That's why I tried the Architect first. Get out of here, bug. Smoking a cigar last night with a bourbon and 2 dead gnats in the bourbon in a matter of seconds. When I'm outside and it's dark, it was dark when I was smoking the cigar and I was drinking, and I just look before I take a sip. I'd rather not drink them if I don't have to. So I take them out. Leave me a comment if you deal with bugs in your whiskey, what you do. Do you care? I take them out of there and just get rid of them off my finger. I just scoop them out. Then I kind of swish the glass around. My brain is just telling me that anything 80 proof, you know, a spirit or above, is gonna kill any germs in there. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know, but I sure ain't dumping out, you know, a pour of whiskey because there was a gnat in there. I had two, and I scooped them both out, swooshed them, and right down the hatch. I can't waste it. I'm not doing it, not for a gnat. Maybe an actual fly. But even then, it depends on how gross it was, I guess. I don't know. I've been at cigar lounges and guys are just passing their whiskey around. Like, here, try this. And they just pass you their glass. And you're like, look at the glass and you see like where they drank out of it, you know, and you're like, you turn it to another spot and take a sip. Because again, supposedly whiskey kills, you know, because it touches your mouth and some goes back on the glass inside. It can't not, you know, and I'm not a scientist. I don't understand germs, but I'm assuming germs just hit something and just go, blah, 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 and they're just all over it. But I've just been told so much that whiskey is a germ killer. I don't know. I mean, if a guy says he has the flu, you know, and he wants you to drink out of his glass, then I'm probably going to decline. But if you seem pretty healthy and you pass me something good, it's going to be tough to, you know, it's going to be tough to not try that. Cigar is a whole other story, though. You don't smoke another man's cigar. You don't let another man smoke your cigar. You know, maybe, I don't know if you can break that rule. Obviously, if it's your girlfriend or boyfriend, you know, I guess they can. You're already swapping spit with them, I'm assuming. And then, you know, even a brother, sister, I don't know, mom or dad, it'd be a pretty interesting, you know, maybe do that at home, not at the cigar lounge. So I used to think these Perdomo cigars had 2 cigar bands on them. They don't. It's only 1. His box press cigars are very lightly box pressed. I mean, you can see it's box pressed, but it's a real light box pressed, which is fine. And what's wrong with that, right? Nothing. But give me a good ash shot there. That's right, I said ash. Calm down. All right, take this beautiful single cigar band off here. I hate to do that. That means we're like close to halfway. Keep trying to inch it up closer to the head. There we go, moved a little bit. Get another couple minutes out of this before I take this thing off. This is so pretty. You know, if you're subscribed or you watch this channel sometimes, that I love cigar bands. A big cigar band guy. I have yet to try a Perdomo Legacy cigar. That's their newest one. I will try one on here. Taking my time, as you can see. I have not messed around with those at all yet. They're real expensive. I think they're kind of, because they're new, little on the higher end. That's, you know, the curiosity. It's a good line of cigars. People want to try it, so of course they're going to be willing to pay more for something that's newer. Makes sense. I totally get that. These guys are obviously rich, but hey, nothing wrong with having more money, right? All right, so we're gonna be able to take this thing off here without even, all right, nice, sweet. Took it off without even undoing it. Perfect. First 30th Maduro I smoked. Pretty sure the Epicure size of what this is a 6x56. Might be wrong about that. Everything you want to know about this cigar is on his website. Check it out. This is great though. Now I got a little souvenir. I gotta put it somewhere where it's not gonna blow away. I'm just gonna put it under this lighter. Perfect. All right, back to these whiskeys for a second before it storms on my head. It's starting to get a little dark over here to my right where the flag is. That's good. If that was 40 bucks, that would be a absolute buy. It's an absolute drink. I don't know that it's an absolute buy. This one's getting a little better on the nose. Remember, I don't lie on here. I'll eat my words on this thing if it gets good. A little more wood. Thin, like I said on the first sip, thin and kind of a fake woody taste, which is unfortunate, which is really unfortunate. But listen, it is what it is, right? They're not all home runs. They're not all winners. They can't be. This is just, wow. Just a really good stick. I know there's better stuff. I know there's people that smoke better stuff on a daily basis, but if you have the pleasure, if you're able to smoke this on a daily basis, you are, in my mind, you are cigar winning. You got a lot to be thankful for sure. This is a great daily. I wish it could be mine. This is like a weekend, Friday night cigar, you know? If you think I'm weird because I'm moving my head like it's real slow like this and like this when I have cigars in my mouth, I'm trying to get away from the smoke. The smoke wants to go right in my eyes or right up my nose, so that's why I move my head like that. Ridiculous stuff stuck all over, tobacco stuck on my hands. All right, we're gonna ash it for the third time. We are definitely now into the second third, probably about halfway. Even with a pretty mediocre cut on this thing, absolutely no issues. It is just perfect. This Perdomo ashtray is holding up pretty good too. This thing is, it's made of plastic, but it's hanging in there. Didn't really get all burned up, messed up yet. Pretty good quality. Like I said, they sent me that. I bought some cigars and they sent me the ashtray. It was a while ago now. Yeah, I got lots of comments from people what they're drinking and smoking. Sometimes people are drinking a Mountain Dew and whoa, now the wind's kicking up, the ashes are blowing around. Some people are drinking a Mountain Dew, not smoking anything, they leave me a comment, and I love it. Or you're drinking, somebody left me a comment and drinking a water. Like, I'm drinking water and not smoking anything. Cheers. Cheers to you. I'm pretty sure if I came on here drinking water and not smoking anything, people would pretty much think I lost my head, so. I don't know how I feel about these glasses. These are my new glasses I just got. They're just different shaped. Still, you know, still a whiskey glass. They're real heavy compared to the Glencairns. The Glencairns, though, I think are just the ultimate shape. The tulip shape, you know? These are like that, but they're more bulbous. I gotta be careful when I'm, you know, not shooting a video and I'm pouring whiskeys for myself in these. I almost have to kind of measure it out, because this thing will hold a bunch of whiskey. I mean a ton of whiskey. But they're nice. I don't know. I think the Glencairns are pretty much the top of the line as far as whiskey neat glasses. Oh. I should retro. I never retro when I get down this low. I should retro. I bet it's spicy. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, yeah. Earthy, spicy, burns a little. That's good though. It's real good. Not too intense, you know. I'm sure the sun grown is a little more intense, but I've had the Connecticut in the 30th and now this Maduro, and this Maduro is sweet and smooth. Yeah. Starting to get that little cigar buzz going too. I don't hear people talk about that a lot. You get down about halfway, 2/3 into a cigar, you should have a little cigar buzz. I'm sure not everybody gets it. I'm sure other people get it to the point where they gotta stop smoking. It's just an enjoyable part of tobacco, nicotine. You know, you don't inhale cigars, but the cigar is going into your bloodstream through your mouth, through your nasal passages. You are probably swallowing / inhaling a degree of smoke, but it's a pleasurable thing. It's a good little buzz. You know, I'd say it's an equivalent to an alcohol buzz, and the two together, just they're nice together. I think you should get a little buzz from a reasonable sized cigar, you know, a hand rolled good cigar, and you should get a little buzz from 2 pours of whiskey. Not everybody's gonna have the same buzz. It's not gonna be as strong, not gonna be as weak for some people. Some of us, like me, who drink whiskey almost every day, are pretty tolerant to whiskey. I see a lot of videos in my feed, especially on YouTube, about alcohol being your worst enemy, essentially. I don't think that's true for everybody. I think if you're the kind of person that can't handle it and you drink too much every time you drink or most times you drink, then sure, maybe alcohol isn't for you. But I think if you can drink 2 pours of whiskey, have a cigar like I'm gonna do today, and sit back, you know, and not keep pouring. I'm not gonna have 10 pours today. I think it's perfectly reasonable to have a couple pours of whiskey, and even if it's not every day, a couple days a week, maybe you're a weekend warrior, Friday nights, Saturday nights, something like that. I definitely don't think just writing alcohol off entirely because you've had an issue once or twice. I think you need to have some self-control and practice, just like anything. You know, first time I smoked a cigar, I wasn't great at it. I'm still not super good at it, but I think I can handle most cigars now. I've been to cigar lounges. I mean, this is a story at almost every cigar lounge I've ever been to. I may have even told this story before, but they'll ask you, you know, you're in the humidor, you're the first time you're there, and usually somebody, whether it's a worker or the owner, will follow you into the humidor, and they will assist you. It's a good thing that they do that, especially if it's the first time you're there. But they're also sizing you up, which is fine too. I got no problem with that. I get it. You don't want somebody getting sick in your lounge. You don't want somebody talking about your lounge, saying, I went in there, nobody was there to help me, I didn't know what to do. So I get that. They're going to be kind of on you. And they know if you've been there before. They may even ask you, you know, hey, I don't know if I saw you here. Is this your first visit to the lounge? And, you know, I'm never dishonest. I say yes. And they'll say, oh, well, what do you like to smoke? And I'm sorry, my head is itchy for some reason. I think there was a fly on it a minute ago. I don't know. I don't like flies. I've talked about that too. But anyway, I digress. So they'll say like, you know, well, what do you like? You know, and for me, I say I like a little everything. I'm not lying. I do. I like everything. And depending on what it is, there's stuff, you know, there's a little of everything I don't like too. And then they say, oh, you like everything? Okay, well, how long you been smoking cigars? You know, you see the hair, the gray hairs, they want to know how long you're smoking. And I tell them like a year and a half. And right away, it's like their alarm bells go up. Ding, ding, ding. This guy, a year smoker, gotta watch this guy. And then they'll say, well, okay, well, they don't tell you that their bells are going off. They don't tell you that they're on alert, essentially. But they try to direct you to something a little less intense. Which again, makes sense. If I had a cigar lounge, I would be the same way. I would do the same thing. I would direct this person that I never met, that I don't know, to something maybe a little lighter so that they don't get cigar sick or they don't have a bad experience in the lounge. And I have picked out some stuff that is crazy strong or perceived to be crazy strong by people. And you can just tell that they're like, oh, that's a medium to full bodied stick. You better, you know, you got something to drink, you bring a soda with, or you want, you know, and I'm just like, I got this. So, you know, you're definitely going to get judged in cigar lounges based on your experience, based on how you look, but to no fault of the lounge. They're looking out for their interests. Like I said, they don't want a bad review. They don't want you to get sick. That would probably be the worst thing for them and you. Even if you don't throw up, just being to the point where your cigar is sick, you got the spins. I don't know that I've ever had the spins from a cigar in my life. Back 20 years ago, maybe, no, more than 20 years ago now, I had smoked cigarettes, and I quit smoking cigarettes. And then when you quit smoking cigarettes, when you're in your 20s or whatever, you're weak. You're weak. So you're out with friends or something, and somebody smokes a cigarette, and you smoke a cigarette. Even though you quit smoking, you may have quit smoking months ago, but they have cigarettes, you're drinking, you're weak, you smoke a cigarette. I've gotten the spins from a cigarette before, but you're inhaling it. It's a lot more intense, and that's why I think that the cigar, back to circle all the way back to the beginning of this conversation, the cigar creeps up on you in a good way. It doesn't hit you as quickly as something that you're going to inhale. When you inhale a cigarette, it's going to affect you tremendously compared to a cigar that you're just puffing on. You know, you'd think, oh, it's 3 times, 5 times, 10 times as big as a cigarette, but it's not going down the full blown, you know, drag, whatever, is not going into your lungs and sitting in there for a second and then exhaling. It's different. So basically what I'm saying is, of course, the ash fell there, so I'm not paying attention to my storytelling. So basically what I'm saying is that I think it's a more pleasurable nicotine / tobacco high from a cigar than a cigarette. All right, problem solved. There's this wrapper down here. You can always tell when you bought a single stick. Single sticks always look like this. At least from my experience in the cigar shops I've visited. They always look like this. We'll have at least one of these, you know, kind of, let's see, this is like this. There we go. sometimes they have two barcodes on them. And I noticed a lot of these cigars now have a QR code. I'm sure if you scan that QR code, it's going to take you right to the Perdomo website. It has a P in the middle of it, so you would assume. And it's going to give you every bit of information you want from that cigar. You know, one about that cigar. Yeah, so there's a cigar buzzed. There's a guy with a cigar buzz telling you a story about cigarettes and cigars. So hope you enjoyed that. If you hung in there for that, and you really do like this channel. Final third for sure. Obviously great. Has not intensified, which might be a bad thing for some people. Some people might want their cigar to get stronger and stronger and stronger as they go. I don't think Perdomo is going to do that for you. My experience with Perdomos, they're just consistent the whole way through. I like that about them. Yeah. A retro. Spicy. Spicy, spicy, spicy. Spicy chocolate. I think in my infancy of going to cigar lounges, I'd be embarrassed to choke or cough. But when you're trying to explore a cigar, you're really trying to get the most out of it, you might get choked up sometimes. Don't get upset. Just handle it. You know, try not to gag and get all crazy. The way I handled it there, I think was perfectly acceptable. Most people are not going to be like, look at this guy, what a loser, what a rookie, what an amateur, I think most people are going to be like, oh, at least I would look at him and go, that guy's really trying to, he's retroing half of a inhale and whatever. Yeah, a lot of people, Cigar Scope did a video about retrohaling, trying to teach people how to retrohale. I've talked about this. I've got a friend who smoked way more stuff than me. He was an avid cigarette smoker forever. I would never get into a competition with him for inhaling or exhaling or anything. He can't retrohale. I think it just kind of either is a natural thing you do or it's not. I don't think it's something you can really be taught. Maybe I'm wrong. Cigar Scope, if you're watching, leave me a comment. Let me know if anybody sent you comments on that video, if it helped them. I hope it did. I mean, teach people, teach us, teach me. If it did, awesome. I just don't know. I think it's like one of those things that is a natural thing that you can either do or you can't. I'm basing most of that, my thought process, on my friend, who I'm surprised can't retro, being that he's just a much more experienced smoker than me. All right, I'm saving myself an Architect sip. I'll save myself a barrel strength sip. Yeah, barrel strength is good stuff. Just not for the money. Unless I'm wrong about the pricing. I could be wrong. Yeah, this is sad. Sad that this is coming to an end. But all good cigars should feel like that. Just know that you can always get another one. You can always smoke another one. I really need to find a restaurant. I don't know. It'd be great if it was somewhere I could drive to, because I don't like doing a whole lot of flying. But we could drive to a restaurant that was just an open smoking thing, like where you could just smoke cigars the entire time you're in the restaurant. So you walk in, you got one lit in your mouth. They say, you know, Cigar Exploration USA, we got your table ready. Bring a couple friends, obviously. You don't want to go alone. I'd be lame. You know, your table's ready. And you and your friends, you got one lit in your mouth. You walk over to the table. You know, it's a good fancy place. You know, they got the white tablecloths. Boom, big cigar ashtray in the middle of the table. You know, what are you guys drinking? What are you guys smoking? You know, they got bourbon, bottles of bourbon, maybe by the bottle, which would be great. Obviously, it's going to be like wine. It's going to be marked up. You order a bottle or two, you know, in this case, and you and 4, 5, 6, 20, whatever, how many friends you want to take, whatever your setup is, you sit there, you smoke cigars at your leisure. You let your cigar go out while you're maybe having an appetizer. Then, you know, somebody needs to make a restaurant like that. I mean, that is a place that I would be, you know, you're talking a high end. I'm talking high end too. I want a serious place. You're talking $60 for a chop, you know, side dishes, a la carte, everything, you know, steakhouse style kind of restaurant. Not fine dining, but steakhouse style. If you're experienced with that kind of thing, you know that there's a difference. Steakhouses are more laid back. I prefer this be a steakhouse environment, you know, seafood and steaks. But cigar smoking would be just so great to be able to eat. I would love to be able to have a cigar. You know, cigar exploration. Your steaks here. They put it down. It's, you know, it's sizzling in front of you. You're smoking your cigar, looking at it. Wow. Put your cigar down. Cut that steak or a chop. You know, pork chop, whatever chop you're into. Steaks or you got a fish, whatever. Take a bite of it. Pick your cigar up. Take a couple puffs on your cigar, and that would be a dream come true for me. That's the ultimate restaurant. That's the ultimate restaurant. A restaurant where you can just drink and smoke whatever you want. And you know, for me personally, and this, I'm sure it'll never happen, because, you know, cigar lounges, they don't have, you know, you can't smoke cigarettes in cigar lounges. I don't own a cigar lounge, so I don't make these rules. For me though, this restaurant, if people want to smoke cigarettes or pipes along with the cigar, I would be fine with that. I would be completely cool with the table. There's 6 people over here, all smoking cigarettes. It's all blowing this way. You know what? You're in that place. Guess what? Our cigar smoke from my table is going to blow over to them too. Whatever. I'd be cool with all that. I just wish there was a restaurant where you could do that. There was one place I was in Philadelphia. It wasn't a restaurant though. See if you can pick up what I'm putting down here. You could technically smoke cigars and have a meal in this place, but there was some ladies walking around, you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't exactly a steakhouse. It was a club, which is fine. That would be fine, you know, but I prefer the restaurant atmosphere, the steakhouse atmosphere. I like that noisy, glasses clanging, but with cigars and whatever else. If other stuff needs to be smoked in there too, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. It's totally fine. I just wish somebody would invent that, essentially. I'm not doing it because I know what the restaurant industry is like. I've had a lot of friends that had restaurants and have been in that industry per se, whether they were the owner or they worked in it, and it's a tough business. It's a really tough business. I bet you, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I bet you in Vegas there's a place like that. There's probably a place where you can smoke cigars. I'm gonna look into it. I'll look into it. If I find one, I'll leave it in the description. that would just, for me, that would just be the ultimate. I would love that. That's like a, you know, people have bucket lists. They want to skydive. They want to, you know, climb a mountain. My bucket list thing is go to a restaurant where you can freaking just drink and smoke what you want. You can order a whole bottle. I don't know any restaurants where you can order a whole bottle of whiskey. At least it's not on the menu. I'm sure if you know, coughed it up, they would bring you a whole bottle of bourbon. I want to see it on a menu. I want to see bottles of bourbon ordered like bottles of wine. That'd be cool. I hear thunder in the background. It is about to storm here. It's coming. It is on its way. Listen, you hear it? Yeah, a couple miles away. So just to recap, this 30th anniversary Maduro, freaking fantastic. Just great. Penelope barrel strength, great. Price-wise, not so great. Architect, try it if you're a French oak staves person. I say go for another alternative. Personally, definitely not going to be a buy of mine. But you know, that's what I'm doing. I'm exploring. I'm exploring cigars. I'm exploring whiskeys. Cigar, absolutely worth it. Worth every penny. 12, 13 bucks. Just awesome. Ooh, yeah, now I really hear the thunder. Well, the timing works. I've always talked about timing on this channel. You know, timing is everything. Get a good drink, get a good smoke in this afternoon. It's the weekend. It's time to party. All right, one more last sip. What do we do first? Let's do the Architect first. All right, now the barrel strength. We are in a successful zone of a good cigar buzz and a good whiskey buzz right now. Yeah, burr. Good stuff. All right, you guys, let me know what you're drinking. Let me know what you're smoking. This thing is just about at the end. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And I will choke and see you guys in the next video. Cheers.